Right, so the spotlight is on women this month as we celebrate women in various walks of life. Today, we're talking women in logistics and transport, either owning SMMEs or operating within the field. Nicci Scott-Anderson, founder of the Commercial Transport Academy, has opened applications for fully funded 4-month mentorship and coaching program for women-owned or women-empowered managed organizations. So the Academy is a 51% Black female-owned, 100% female-operated organization, and they're based in Johannesburg. So to explore further about the opportunities in this field, we're joined by Nicci Scott-Anderson, again, founder of the Commercial Transport Academy. Nicci, good afternoon, and thank you for your time with us here on the SABC.
Good afternoon, and thank you for the invite to be here this afternoon. I really appreciate it.
All right, so Nicci, we're obviously looking at the strides that have been taken, perhaps in empowering women, and particularly for those operating in male-dominated industries. And I wonder at this point if we can just look at the reality on the ground and really at this point when opportunities exist for women along the value chain within transport and logistics.
Well, if I could take gender out of it for a second, there's an immense amount of opportunities that lie in wait for any business owner offering a solution, service, or product within the transport sector. But for us, there has just been too little effort placed on advancing women into the sector. And this comes from the 28 years that I've been in transport and having operated my own logistics company for 23 years of that. So I would say to you that, this is a tough industry. It really is. And you've profiled many an article and program on exactly what's going on in the industry. But there is definitely opportunity for SMMEs to enter and to access the space.
All right, so before we get to those opportunities, perhaps we could speak about the reality of representation and the challenges and the gaps that exist at this point, given, news making the rounds in terms of the attacks on trucks, perhaps also safety coming to the fore as well.
Well, one of our leading banks that finance more commercial vehicles than any other bank in South Africa provided a statistic to me the other day that was really worrying, where they claimed that only around 4% of the transport or fleet operators are owned by women. So, that leaves us with 96% of these businesses owned by men. The statistic is unsure of how many of these organizations are co-owned, but the truth is that women have struggled for a very long time to take their share of the industry, and there are very real barriers that women need to overcome, and this is definitely a gender conversation. But the challenges go far beyond just simply looking at the fact that men have more opportunities than women. This is not an industry that you can dip your toes into and decide if you want to participate or not. It's really hard to be a middle person sort of facilitating part of the industry. You're either in or you're out. And to be in, you need to financially commit. And sometimes that commitment can be as much as 5 to 7 years, depending on however you have financed your fleet or the contracts you're getting into. So a lot has to be thought about before accessing the industry. And as long as this industry is so elusive in terms of where you can participate and the lack of opportunity for women to actually experience the whole environment of transport and not just one element, it's going to remain very difficult for women to get into the industry and advance in the industry, because unfortunately in the workplace, most of the leaders are men, and they're the ones that are truly experiencing the opportunities and the challenges in that sector. So look, from the outside looking in, it might look very prosperous, or you could take the opposite view that it's way too risky and way too dangerous. But without actually being in the industry for some time, it's really hard to make that assessment. I believe that while we have seen some really, really horrific footage on what's been happening on the roads, and there's no excuse for this. Transport in itself, the freight industry in itself, is not a high-risk industry for organizations for young women or to get into, but it's the how that is the challenge.
So Nicci,
I do believe that we will at some...
Let me interrupt you there, because I actually want to then look at how we relook at the narratives and dispel some of the stereotypes that exist at this point. Because through your academy, perhaps you could walk us through what the core focus is along the value chain for those who are going to be getting involved. And in terms of application, what does that process look like? How does it really benefit those who join?
So I think, that's what I was saying just now, is that it's so hard for women to know what area of the industry to get into, where the opportunities lie, if they have not come from the sector, or if they don't have family that maybe there's some sort of history within the sector. So what we've done at the CTA, we've structured a mentorship and coaching program for women who are already in the industry to some extent or would like to participate in the industry. And it's twofold. We've partnered with the Road Freight Association to look at an emerging program. So what is transport? So it's Transport 101. What are the elements? What do you need to be aware of? How do you create a company, establish a company? What do you need to know about transport? What are the different sectors? That's one program. But the program that you're referring to today is the second phase, where you've entered the industry already, but you're not progressing. You're not really putting down the roots that you need to build a solid foundation upon. So what we've done here is we've created a 4-month mentorship program, which is made up of 5 modules that covers everything from the SWOT, the basics of the SWOT analysis, what industry are you in, through to financial management. But then what we've done is we've brought in 16 gurus. These are men and women that have been in the industry for over 20 years. Some of them have been in as much as 40 years, to bring their wealth and knowledge and learnings to these ladies that are looking to access the industry. And they cover a broad spectrum of risk, telematics, life coaching, social media, right through to just, how do you choose a fleet? How do you choose an OEM that you want to partner with? And then it didn't end there. We made it one step bigger about partnering with Highway Heroes, where the ladies also get access to over 150 courses, from short courses to a full diploma that they can do during and after this mentorship program. So the enrollment is quite easy. You just need to go to the CTA, the Commercial Transport Academy's website, and you will find the information there.
All right, Nicci, we'll leave the conversation there. Thank you for your time with us on the SABC, for weighing in on the matter. Of course, we're celebrating and talking about strides taken for those operating in logistics and transport, perhaps a spotlight on women as we usher in Women's Month this August. Again, thank you to Nicci Scott-Anderson, founder of the Commercial Transport Academy, for her time with us here.